Assalamu alaikum. Yesterday we were talking about how you can make inquiries at a railway station, and in relation to it, we saw some of the speech patterns or some dialogues that are commonly used in such conversations. So we saw how you can make inquiries concerning where the trains are, where the railway station is, or where the counter is, where you can get your tickets, where you or even how you can make inquiries concerning any delays in the arrival or departure of trains, or in terms of lost luggage, right? We saw all those uh, samples of dialogues, right? Samples of conversation. So we were looking into some of the more commonly used questions and comments in relation to making railway inquiries at the train. So in section A, we saw how or where you can catch the train, where to find, railway stations or subway stations. Okay, and then we were talking about some questions in relation to getting the right train, or finding out which train goes when, right? And what platform to take. So this is where we stopped, I believe, at the station. Is this the right line for the airport? As in, if you're going to the airport, say, you're going to Minambakam, and you want to know if the line you've taken, if the train you've taken is, or like the platform you're in, and you're looking at the train, you may ask someone if that is the right train that would go to the airport. Does this go to the city center? Of course, you can. Is this the right train for so and so place? Is this the right train for so and so place? Or you could say, where is it? Brush. Okay, got my brush. So, see, is this the right train or bus or whatever it is for the destination? Okay, for the object would be your destination. Is this the right so and so for the destination? Okay, so you can use this variation anywhere, whether you're taking a bus or a cab or whatever it is, or like not cab, basically a public transport. Okay, so you could use this pattern. Is this the right so and so for the destination? Please repeat it a couple of times so that you get accustomed to it, you get familiarize yourself to this pattern. Okay, does this go to so and so? You can use any destination here. So if you're looking for going to probably a museum, you could say, does this go to the Igmore Museum, or does this go to the Islamic Women's College, or does this go to the Access Network, or whatever, you know? So um, just practice this, this phrase. Does this go to? Does this go to? Is this the right? Is this right? Repeat some at least 5 or 6 times to yourself. Okay, the Central Park, please. So when you are getting a ticket at the counter, you could simply say the name of the destination and add a please to it. So say if you're going to probably Vanimbari bypass, all you have to say is Vanimbari bypass, please. Right? Vanimbari bypass, please. Or if you're going to Madras, Chennai Central, please. Or if you're going to probably Bangalore, Bengaluru, please. One Bengaluru, please. Right? All you have to do is state the destination and the count, that is the quantity of tickets, the number of tickets you need, you require, and add a please to it. Okay, very simple, very simple. The name of the destination, you also need to the number of tickets you require. Say if, four adults and a small child are going, 4.5 tickets, please. Right? Okay, so just add a please to it. Fine. Then I want to go to the city. So Here, this is something you wouldn't actually tell a stranger, but at a counter, at a ticket counter, you could say, "I want to go to the city." That is, if the line runs through the city, you could use this phrase. How much is it? How much is it? As in, how much is a ticket? So you could say it's just a way of saying how much is the ticket. So instead of it, to prevent being vague, you could say how much is the ticket. All right. What or how much is the fare? Or you could say how much is a ticket, or you could say what is the fare, or how much is the fare. What much wouldn't come together. All right. What much won't come together. So what is the fare? What is the fare, or how much is the fare? All right. Fare would be, the money, the money the person would charge you for taking you from here to there. Of course, everyone knows what fare is, but just in case you're not familiar with the term. Okay. So how much is the fare, or what is the fare? Please repeat a couple of times. How much is the fare? How much is the fare? So you could use it just about anywhere you need to get a ticket. All right. Can I get a return ticket? Now, this is something not often used these days because we tend to do most of the, bookings online. But still, if you want to do it, I mean, earlier, you would do it at a counter, and yes, you can still do it at a counter. So you could ask for this. Can I get a return ticket? If you've already planned a date on which you wish to return, or you plan to return, you could get a return ticket. Can I get a return ticket? Please repeat a couple of times. Can I get a return ticket? Can I get a return ticket? I request you all to not take it very lightly, because this is one way of learning English through practice. Unless you repeat and practice to yourself, you won't be able to use it anywhere. Okay? So, is this the right train for the airport? Is this the right bus for one embody? Okay, just about. Okay, of course, here all you need to know is Tamil to communicate. But just imagine if you were, say, in Andhra or in Karnataka, or some place where Tamil is not used, and people don't know Hindi either. You don't have any other language except for English in which to communicate, or for your needs, right? So it's better you learn it, you repeat it and learn it, and know the correct way of using certain phrases for your purpose, rather than flounder for words at that time. Okay, when the need arises. So simply learn to use these sentences, use these phrases. Is this the right so and so for destination so and so? Okay, so just remember this. Is this the right so and so for the destination? So and so here would be bus, train, whatever. Okay, for the destination wherever you wish to go. Then, does this go to so and so? Does this go to, I mean, say if you're in Delhi and you don't know Hindi, or no, and nobody there knows Tamil, you could simply ask, does this go to so and so? At the counter, just use the destination name and add a please to it along with the number of tickets you require. Then, even at the once again at the counter, if the teller there asks you where you wish to go, you could say, I want to go to the city. So that person would tell you what the fare is, right? So you could just give the fare and get your tickets. How much is it? How much is it? Isn't like how much is the fare? How much is the cost? So how much is the fare, or what is the fare? So there are two alternatives: how much is the fare, or what is the fare? Can I get a return ticket? If you pre-plan, if you already planned your return, you could get a return ticket as well. Can I get a return ticket? Now, this facility is not always available everywhere. You could just simply ask for it. Do I have to change? Do I have to change here? It does not mean change your clothes, but change your train. Okay, so say sometimes you have to take double trains. The train does not go directly to your destination. You have to change in the middle, change lines and trains in the middle, right? For instance, so many trains you need to change at Katpadi or sometimes at Arakonam, right? So do I have to change? Here, to prevent being vague, use the word trains. Do I have to change trains? Right? How many stations or stops is it? How many stations or stops is it? Isn't how many stops are there before I reach the place? So if you are traveling from say Bengaluru to Vanimbadi or Bengaluru to Madras, you can count the stops, right? So you would know you would have some idea as to how many stops there are before you reach your destination. What station should I get off, please? What station should I get off, please? Isn't on which station should I get off, right? Again, this is something you could ask your co-passenger rather than the counter. Okay, or even at the counter they tell you what exactly which station you need to be getting off at. What station should I get off at? What place should I get off? Like you can ask a bus conductor as well. I mean, it's not necessary that this is applicable only for trains. This is applicable to your metros, your buses that you take, or even the common vans that carry people from one place to another. I mean, as a public transport, right? So this is applicable to just about any public transport except for cabs, because they are more specific, right? When you get in itself, you know that, or you've already spoken to the driver where you're getting down. Is mine the last stop? So this is another thing you could ask. Is mine the last stop? You could ask this of a co-passenger or other counter itself. Not the counter because, yeah, you could ask at the counter or your co-passenger or someone or some conductor, bus conductor or something. All right, please repeat this again and again so that you memorize it, you remember it, and later on you make use of it. Inshallah, we'll have some class wherein we can make use of these instances where you can do some role playing and put these phrases to good use. Then at the station there is a dialogue given here. How soon does the train leave? It leaves in 10 minutes. Do I have to check my bags? I don't think you do. So first off, how soon does the train leave? How soon does the train leave? How soon does the train leave? Please repeat and repeat so that you can accustom yourself. How soon does the train leave? It leaves in 10 minutes. Simple way of answering. It leaves in 10 minutes. Even if you are asked by someone else, a co-passenger or someone, you could answer them very clearly. It leaves in so and so time. Do I have to check my bags? I don't think you do. How much is the fare to Mysore? 150 rupees round trip. What time does the next train leave? So, see, simple questions. Do I have to check my bags? Do I have time to check my bags? I don't think you do. I don't think. Okay, now this I don't think you do is something you could use just about anywhere. When someone asks, will I have enough time before the appointment? As a receptionist, you could say, no, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Right? I don't think you do simply means, no, as far as I can understand, you don't have enough time. You don't have enough time to go and do other things before you catch up on your appointment or catch up on your train or catch the train or whatever. Right? So this is something that is that is commonly applied to all other all places, in different places. So how much is the fare to Mysore? So we've already seen this pattern. How much is the fare to so and so place? 150 rupees round trip. So 150 round trip is in when you go round. What time does the next train leave? What time does the next train leave? Again, this is something we've already practiced. So you could say, what time does the Lal Bagh Express leave? What time does the bus to Ahmedabad leave? Or what time does um, the metro start from Egmore station? Right? You could apply it to just about any place or any destination, so long as you are sure of the destination. All you need to know is the time. All right. At what time does the next train leave for the city? So, what time does the next train leave? The next one leaves at 6:30 from track 6. So, it could be platform 6 or platform 11 or platform 9 and 3 quarters. What time does the next train leave for the city? There's one at 4 and another at 4:45. Was the fare? It's 80 including tax. Did your cousin arrive on time? Okay. Now see, this is not one length of dialogue. It could be divided. I mean, these are just common patterns that are, that you often talk about. I mean, that is often practiced or conversed at different places. Okay. So when we say, did your cousin arrive on time? Obviously, your co-passenger or your the the vendor or the ticket counter, they are not the ones who are going to be interested in what time your cousin is arriving, right? So it could be someone else. Did your cousin arrive on time? No, he was an hour late. He was an hour late, as in, yeah, he was 1 hour late. Did your cousin arrive on time? It could be just about anyone. Did you arrive on time? If you're talking about that person himself, or like in the first person, sorry, in the second person, you could ask, did you arrive on time? Did you arrive on time? Like, say, if you have a guest at your home coming from somewhere, taking a train or have had a long journey, you could simply ask, did you arrive on time? Yeah. Or if you're calling up someone who's left you and gone somewhere else, you could ask them, did you arrive on time for their appointment or whatever. Did you meet him at the station? I was right there on the platform when the train came. How do you get home every day? How do you get home every day is, I take the commuter train to Nungambakkam. So, how do you get home every day? This is something you can ask your friends, you can ask your teachers, or you can ask your colleagues probably. Yeah, please practice this as well. How do you get home every day? I take the commuter train. I take the bus that leaves from probably from Vanembari bus stand, right? Or from probably Ambur bus stand. Or I take the a train that leaves from Central. I take the train that leaves from Katpadi, right? I take the commuter train to Nungambakkam. So you could either mention your, the place where you board the bus or the train, or you could mention your destination where you arrive. All right. So here it is the destination that is meant to Nungambakkam. To is used for your destination. From, for your place of boarding. Boarding as in where you start. All right. So if I am starting from, say, Vaniambari Islamia Women's Arts and Science College, I would say I take the bus from Vaniambari bus stand. Okay. Or I could say I take the bus that goes to or no, instead of goes to, I take the bus to Vellore, right? Or I could say I take the bus to Ambur bus stand, right? So see, Ambur bus stand is that's the common stop in between. But whereas in Vanembadi we have two different stops. One is Vanembadi bypass, the other is Vanembadi bus stand, right? So if I wanted to be overly specific, I could say I take the bus to Vanembadi bypass, or I take the bus to Vanembadi bus stand. All right. So, and my point being that when we use the word to, okay, it's a transitive verb. Okay, so it has to have a destination. An intransitive verb does not require an object for that matter, but when you use to, you have to have a destination in mind. Again, if you're talking about from, say where you are taking it from, you could you need to talk about where you are boarding your train. Boarding as in where you're getting on, getting on the train or the bus. All right. Isn't it rather expensive going by train? No, I buy a 30 trip season ticket each month. 30 trip isn't it, as in like you've got bus passes, right? So, no, I buy a bus pass. So it is easier for me. Please practice these phrases, these sentences, so that you can put them into use when you talk to your friends. All right? Isn't it rather expensive going by train? Isn't it rather expensive going by train? Isn't it expensive to buy so and so? You know, isn't it rather expensive? Isn't it rather expensive is something that you would talk about, or you could use apply to anything else your friend does or buys or stuff. Isn't it rather expensive to eat at a hotel every night? Isn't it rather expensive to buy that kind of sari all the time? And you can use this phrase where it could be applied to things that are expensive, that your friend practices or does, in an expensive manner. All right, moving on. Railway reservation. Excuse me, could you please tell me if I can get a ticket for Goa from this counter? Sorry, you will have to go to counter number 3. This counter is only for group booking. So when you approach a counter, you could say, please begin with excuse me, good morning, or walaikum assalam, depending upon the kind of person is sitting at the counter. Okay. Excuse me, could you please tell me if I can get a ticket for Goa from this counter? Sorry, you will have to go to counter number 3. This counter is only for group booking. Could you please tell me whether a reservation for the 22nd is available? The inquiry counter will tell you about this. It is at the entrance of the building. Thank you. Here is the inquiry counter. Let me find out whether there are any reservations available for the 22nd. How can I help you? Please, may I know the status of reservation for the 12th of this month? Please wait for a minute. I will just check. In which class would you like to travel? 3-tier AC. There are some berths available in 2-tier sleeper, but none in 3-tier AC. Thank you. Now, there is a mistake here. It's supposed to be now. Do I have to go to counter number 3 to book my ticket? That's right. Thank you very much. This is one fantastic sample essay found here, because sample dialogues, because see, very often we don't get these so much variety of sample dialogues. So try to practice them and familiarize yourself to these phrases. Okay, always remember to use excuse me, please, thank you, before or after your speech, and always have a polite tone, because your body language, your gesture, all of it matters quite a bit. All right, now moving on. All right, moving on to our next topic, which is finding an accommodation. How to find an accommodation, how to converse while you are looking for accommodation. Now, it could be accommodation would simply mean a place where you can stay. Okay, so this could be a temporary place of staying. Okay, a temporary accommodation, or a place where you can, rent for a month or 2 or a year. All right. So I found this one very helpful blog, uh, and uh, and we'll see how booking a hotel room in English is made easy. All right. So there are certain vocabulary, some useful vocabulary to describe hotel rooms and facilities and phrases to book a hotel. Now, please remember, whenever we speak of booking a place, we are talking about book in terms of a verb. Okay, as a verb, you are making reservations on how to book a hotel room. So to begin with, there are plenty of types of rooms: double room, room with a double bed for 2 people; twin room, room with 2 beds. Okay, so there is a difference. Double room would be a room where there are double beds. That is for double bed as in for two people can sleep in the same bed. Twin rooms where room one room will have two separate beds. Single room with one bed for only one person. Suite, more than one room. Example, bedroom and living room, right? So suite would be suite, would be pronounced as suite. Okay, suite would be a place where you not only have a room as in a bedroom, you'd actually have a living room, beside it, and probably a dressing room as well, or it would be much larger in comparison. All right, a cot, a bed for a baby. All right. In terms of availability, fully booked, no rooms available. When you approach a reception at the hotel, if you ask for rooms and they say we are no, we are so I'm sorry, we are fully booked, it simply means that they don't have any further place. No room is further available to be let out. All right. So other facilities, ensuite bathroom or ensuite bathroom as is commonly pronounced here, would be a bathroom that is attached to the bedroom. Generally, all good hotels have its own bathroom. I mean, has rooms that has its own bathroom, but there are sometimes places where you may have to use a communal bathroom. Communal bathroom would be just like some four or five or even two, just merely two bathrooms that everyone in the hotel needs to use. I mean, and that does not often occur because most decent hotels have their own, has a separate bathroom attached to the bedroom, to the room. A safe, a box with a key where you put valuables, passport, jewelry, money, etc. All good hotels have a safe. So it would be probably just a simple locker with a key that the key you will possess. Okay, the possession of it will be in your hands, or sometimes it would have some number lock. Okay, a safe, a mini bar, a small fridge with drinks inside such as coke, water, juice, wine. Well, again, a mini bar is something that you find in upscale hotels, not everywhere. Okay. Tea and coffee making facilities, again, this is something you won't find everywhere. um, this may some hotels may have it, some may not. So tea and coffee making facilities, it may have just a kettle to boil water, cups, coffee, milk, sugar, and tea sachets. 24-hour room service, meals delivered to your room, as in whenever we I mean, it's now this is variously used. This phrase is not most hotels stick to. They may say they have 24-hour room service, but meals may or may not be included in it. Okay, so they may say the 24-hour room service would only you have to be very specific about it, because see, you have to find out whether the room the charges that are applied to the room include the meals or not. Okay, or do you have to pay separately for it? Laundry or dry cleaning services, your clothes can be washed for you. Again, not all hotels have it. Bar and restaurant, the hotel has a bar and a restaurant for drinks and meals. Well, again, this is something most hotels do have, but sometimes they don't. Wi-Fi, internet connection, pronounced Wi-Fi, of course. Full English breakfast, big breakfast with toast, eggs, bacon, cereal, etc. Obviously, if they are providing meals, you'll have to find out right at the reception before you check in whether they are providing such meals that you are very particular about it. If you're not going to stay there, you're just going to crash in at night and maybe come in and out just to change and all that, you won't have to worry about it. But if you are staying there, mostly depending on the breakfast, at least you will have to find out right at the beginning. Continental breakfast, small breakfast with croissant, coffee, juice. Okay, so continental, what kind of breakfast you will have? Full English breakfast would include toast, eggs, bacon, or cereal, etc. Continental breakfast would include small breakfast with croissant, coffee, and juice. A wake up call when the telephone rings to wake you up. Of course, these are the facilities provided at the hotel, and if you're familiar with them, you'll be able to Ask for them, ask for you, inquire about it before you check in, and based on your preference, you can or you may or may not check in those places. All right. So we've seen some of the facilities and some of the terms, some of the vocabulary used in finding accommodations in or booking a hotel room, and inshallah tomorrow we'll try to look into some of the conversations, some of the sample dialogues between a clerk, the reception, and yourself as someone looking for the accommodation. And also we'll look into some of the key phrases, important phrases that you may have to practice and remember, and probably apply later on. All right. So this is all for today. Thank you so much for your patience listening. Jazakallah khair. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.